Hey everyone, this is Scott Roberts with Explore Scientific, and this is the OpenGOTO Community Live episode number 32. And I fear that I've gotten the titling wrong on this episode. So anyhow, I'm here with Jerry Hubble and Kent Martz. And so you guys have to speak up and unmute yourself, Kent.
Can you hear me, Scott?
There we go.
I don't think I'm muted. Am I muted?
You were muted.
I can, yeah, I think the title was wrong when I brought it up on my TV. It said Friday.
Yes, it did.
We have a time machine.
That means tomorrow is the weekend, right? I can take tomorrow and the next day off. It's Friday today.
That's right.
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So anyhow, while Scott gets his act figured out, we need to probably jump into some of our subjects here. And we were going to talk about some of the new feature requests that have been coming up in the, the OpenGOTO community. And so you want to take that away, Jerry?
Sure. Let me share my desktop. I've been a little tardy getting the list updated on the spreadsheet file. I was going to work on that today, but I got sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
So can you see my display?
Right. You see it?
Looks good.
And let me make it bigger for people to look at here. Here. Probably a little better. Not quite that big. How about that? Oh, looks like we got a new message. Oh, no pending message. Did you take care of that?
No, one of the other guys must have.
Oh, okay.
I saw one come through and it had already been taken care of when I went to get it.
All right, so let me go back to the That's the main group, right? All right.
Where are you trying to go, Jerry?
Where I'm at right now, feature requests. So if you ever want to go to the group, that's the URL up top there. A little long. But the way I do it, I always go to look at all the groups. I'd go to I click on this upper left-hand groups and look at everything. And this is all the subgroups I have and the groups and subgroups. And I can go down and click on the one I want. So that's the way I use it.
Mm-hmm. Dave Connolly comments that he had a great weekend with Neil Wise and the Milky Way is back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I don't know if you guys have been looking at the planets too. They've been awesome.
Spectacular.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mars
yeah.
gets bigger every day. Yeah. You got Tim Myers, Mike Acott with us. He says, I'm not sure if I can ask a random question. That's okay because we give random answers.
That's the best kind of answer is a random answer.
He wants to know if the Celestron Star Sense, is it compatible with the Explorer PMC-Eight GOTO equatorial mount? I think it is. I think you can take your telescope off the Star Sense mount because I think it's I believe it has like a Vixen plate on it that you're sliding your telescope into. You would have to double check that or send in a photo of the attachment point because, of course, we don't make the Celestron Star Sense, but I think that's from what I saw that when I was at the Winter Star Party, I got to see one, and I think that's how it attaches. And if that's the case, it'll attach to an iExos 100 or an Exos 2 PMC-8 system. So Mike Overacker is with us. And he says, rough. and Terry Lehrman, Tim Myers, and Angela Puri. So Angela says Neil Weiss finally did climb over the palm tree here in Southern California, now visible in non-obstructed sightline. That's great.
Awesome. So Bill Black put in a request, feature request, talking about making the altitude adjustment on the Exos 2 better. And it's different between the Exos 2, the current Exos 2 mount, and the iXos 100. And you want to explain some of that, Scott? We talked about it a little earlier.
Yeah, so the Exos 2 is an older design, and the way that the azimuth adjustment works is you kind of have this this pivot point that's underneath the mount, okay, and
That's
there's
the
just
altitude. You're talking about
the
the
altitude
altitude,
adjustment, right? And so you have two screws. One screw is pushing, the other screw is locking, and they're just flat screws that hit up against this this piece of casting. Now,
Hey, Scott, you can
yeah.
share you can show me. I've got my computer pointing at it.
Why don't you share your screen? I think
Just-
that Jerry has to stop sharing, guys.
It's just on my camera. I've just got my laptop pointed at it.
Yeah, we don't. I don't see that yet, but anyhow,
Okay.
The iXos 100. We heard about this question before, and so when we designed the iXos 100 mount, it works a little bit differently, so that the altitude tangent arm is actually a threaded hole, and there's a threaded rod that goes right through it. This threaded rod is supported with a pivot, so you can turn it. It makes this really fine adjustment without any of that kind of pushing or pulling tension that would go on. Some people have mentioned that they would like a finer adjustment. And so we, in fact, heard you and are doing that. The next mounts to come up, out of the iXos line, will have that adjustment as well. So that's something that's out that will be integrated into it. We don't have a lot of other information about these mounts other than, some of the design elements at this point. So.
Scott, can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear Jerry.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yep. Were you muted?
That darn mute button.
That darn mute button. Yes.
That darn mute. So yeah, so that's we are working on it. So that's in our list of enhancements, and that's definitely one that we've already kind of taken care of with the iXos 100 and with the iXos line of mounts as we release them. So I don't know that we're giving away too much secrets there. The iXos mount is actually a series of mounts. Let's just put it out there.
That's right.
We haven't talked too much about what's coming out next.
No, we haven't talked a lot about it because there's still it's still a product in development, and so exact times for release, exact prices, exact the feature sets are getting close to being done at this point. So, we're kind of giving you a little sneak peek, which is okay. I tend to reveal stuff early anyhow. So.
He's a lot better. He used to reveal stuff almost 2 years ahead of time, but now we're 6 months or so, or maybe even less, probably.
So Daniel Sanchez asked, is the iXOS 100 like the rival of the Skywatcher Star Adventure?
I think it's more than the Star Adventure. The Star Adventure is designed as a sky tracker, as a
Right ascension clock drive.
Right. That's basically Now, it probably has some other features on top of that, but again, I, I, I don't want to talk too much out of turn because it's not our product. I don't want to really talk too much about it, but our product has every feature that you would have in one of our higher end go-to mounts. It's not just a Sky Tracker, although we
Mhm.
market it that way because it does compete directly against the Star Adventure, I think.
Well, in that it's an equatorial tracker, yes. Um, there's when you look at some of the equatorial trackers that are on the market, most of them don't come with a tripod. So you're buying everything kind of a la carte and building up a system. The IXS 100 is complete in that you've got counterweights, you've got a tripod, and if you buy the HD version, you've got even more. You got a polar scope, you've got the precision azimuth adjuster, and you've even got a rail to attach your camera to it. So, which is nice. So when I first started looking at a lot of the equatorial trackers, some of them that first came out, they look like they just look like a brick that had a right ascension uh, turning point on it with a quarter 20 screw bolt that was coming out that you would attach a tripod head to, or maybe like a ball mount, and then you would attach your camera onto that. And this thing would just fit onto a camera tripod. And people like those things because they were so compact. So if you were going to go travel to go see an eclipse or something like that, you would just drop this box into your suitcase, but you were still dropping in not only the box, but you had to carry a tripod, and you also had to carry all your camera gear, et cetera. They didn't auto guide, they weren't GOTO, those kinds of things. So, the IXOS as an equatorial tracker is, just a more broad system. So,
Right.
So have a question. Somebody's asking if the PMC-8 will work in -30 to -40 degrees. I live in Fort McMurray, which is at 56.7 north. -30 to -40 is roughly equal to Fahrenheit at that point.
yeah, I would say first off that provided that your battery can last in -30 to -40, and your whatever controlling system that you're going to control it with. Jerry, you did some characterization of the electronics of the PMC-8.
Right.
What would you advise there?
No, so, and we also have some real world weather from some of our users in Canada have used
Mm-hmm.
it in very low temperatures. In terms of the bigger, the G11, the XS2, PMC-8 box, but
Yeah.
the design I have, so to to consider in cold weather, you need a heating source, and the regulators provide that function onto the circuit board. So the regulators are putting out power to the motors, but it's also got dissipating heat energy into the board that helps keep the board warmer than ambient. Okay, and then we have the enclosure. We do have also the heat sink is connected to the board to basically equalize the temperature across the whole board is what
Mm-hmm.
it's designed for. So even when you're running like the IXS 100 board, it's got a thermal element on it. It's not as good as the big board and the aluminum case for equalization of temperature, but it still works. And definitely in cold weather, it would handle it fine. In hot weather is really where the limit is. But again, um, the heat that's generated on the board, even at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or maybe even 110 degrees Fahrenheit, is dissipated equally across the board. The heat is spread out so that it will dissipate off the board and at the heat sink connection inside the metal case of the IXS 100.
Mm-hmm.
Now the thermal for heat, the PMC-8 for the G11, the XS2 has a big thermal mass in terms of the aluminum case that it uses to regulate temperature, whether it's hot or cold. And again, it generates enough heat in the cold weather to keep it good. The other thing we do is we use mil-spec parts, which are
Right.
wider temperature range. So that's a big, that mitigates any issues you might have with low temperatures and high temperatures. Definitely for higher temperatures, it helps mitigate that. So like Scott said, the limitation you have is with your battery. You need to keep your batteries warm
Keep your
and,
batteries
and
warm.
insulated, and it's best to, if you can, power up or provide a load on your battery as soon as you take it outside, because it's already warm when you bring it out, but then it cools off after a half an hour to an hour. If you can
Yeah.
put a load on it immediately, that'll help the internal heating of the battery, and you insulate it. That'll maintain the temperature of the battery much longer. That would be the advice I would give. And then
That's
the other thing,
as I say, and that's for any application with batteries outdoors,
right,
not
right.
just the Exos 100 or
That's true.
PMC system.
Like for running your car, for example, right?
Yeah,
Right.
but the other thing is your laptop or whatever your computer is that you use to run your system.
Hmm.
Now, computers also have a certain level of self-heating, so in the cold weather, they work pretty well. But I've seen people put like heating pads underneath their laptop to make sure the main body of the laptop is kept warm that way.
Hmm.
Um, you can do some things, maybe put a little bit of insulation on the back side of the screen to help insulate it a little bit. But again, the front side, you're going to have a small amount of heat generated within the laptop, which will mitigate some of the cold weather. And I used to run, I've got a picture of me, you've seen it, where I'm running it in January in the middle of winter, doing some work in my driveway. You've seen that picture.
Oh yeah.
That was at
That,
10 degrees Fahrenheit.
that crazy guy in the hoodie. Yeah.
That's
In
right.
the,
I guess
the
that's the picture
freezing
that's on,
cold.
right? That's right. It was at 10 degrees at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. Right.
So, and my
Yeah.
laptop was working fine. The laptop worked fine back then, so I'm sure they can handle quite a bit. It's just that you got to manage it.
Right. So yeah, but in minus 30 or I mean, those kinds of cold temperatures, I really aside from other issues, I would recommend just for your own health to stay, connect remotely to your scope and to
Right.
stay indoors. Once you got the setup done, count on moving inside, being a little bit more comfortable. You'll be more productive that way, because you'll work longer and
Not freeze to death.
it's just going to
Oh
make it a
yeah.
lot more enjoyable. That's for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. We do have some Canadian customers that run it at I've heard of minus 20 degrees.
oh man,
So,
So
yeah.
just to put, for those of you who don't know the conversion, minus 40 Celsius is the same thing as minus 40 Fahrenheit.
right.
Oh, that's just crazy cold.
That's right. That is
That's
cold.
crazy cold. Yeah.
We'd love to hear from somebody that has run their system at that low, because I don't think I've heard it quite that low yet. I've heard of minus
Yeah.
20.
Well, at least your camera won't have to be cooled, right? You just
Yeah.
let it just freeze out there. So,
Right.
so there's always a silver lining.
So Terry Larriman asked a question. He has no luck connecting to Explore Stars. Keep getting, please wait. I can connect to a number of other applications, but not Explore Stars. So Terry, if you've got the FTDI chipset cable and you've started running it through ASCOM, then Explore Stars is no longer in the equation. It becomes not part of the routine you use.
It's either or, wireless or serial. It's not both.
Right. So if that's what you're doing, because I know you were working to get that FTDI chipset cable, if you switched, then you've left Explore Stars behind.
All right.
Terry Larriman says he will let us know this winter, because I know he lives up in Canada.
Oh, good luck, man. Good luck. So,
So the next feature request has to deal with the Explore stars. We had a similar one on the ASCOM driver where you select
mhm,
the longitude and latitude. They'd like to see degrees, minutes, and seconds in terms instead of decimal degrees. And we have the same thing on Explore stars in terms of the longitude and latitude. It's just decimal right now. So that's
right,
definitely a feature that we can update on Explore stars.
right.
So
How
that's all
many
I have
requests have we gotten? A lot of requests for that, Jerry?
for this change for this.
Yeah.
Not
For the,
really. No, not really. Typically the computer you use, the tablet or whatever, has a GPS in it, so it automatically populates that data for
yeah.
you, and you don't have to
Mhm,
worry about entering it manually. So
mhm.
it hasn't been an issue if people have a device that includes a GPS. It'll just do it for you.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the last time I actually input manually the longitude and latitude into any of these systems. So
Right.
I've always relied on the tablet's GPS to do
That
that for me.
that's a mainstay of the older traditional hand controllers, but since we're running it on a computer system, our
Hmm.
Explore Stars controls hand controller, or we call it a hand controller, but it's really it's a tablet-based graphical interface to control the
That's right.
PMC-8 that has GPS built in, and we take advantage of that.
Right. Yeah, and if you wanted your tablet to be more hand controller like, I mentioned it. I mention it regularly. We do have buttons that are suction cups that go right over the up, down, left, and right keys, so that you do have tactical adjustments even with gloves on. So
Didn't we give a set of those away early on? Maybe we
we
need
can
to
give
give
another
another.
set away
Yeah, give
today
another.
if you'd
That's
like.
right. That's right. We can give a set of those away today.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
So, so
eh,
let's see. We have some more comments here. James, the astrophotographer, talked about having wonderful views of Neowise on Friday night, spent the evening on Lake Erie. That's cool. Let's see. Mike Overacker, did I hear you once say that the Exos 2 GT is the same as the Meade LXD 75 mount? It's only the same in that the outer castings are the same. It does come from the same factory that made the LXD 75 mount. We're very intimately familiar with it, but the LXD 75 mount did not have ball bearings. So that was a major change that we did to the mount, which basically transformed the mount. So we put ball bearings on both, two ball bearings on RA and two ball bearings on declination, and we put ball bearings on the worm itself, on the worm block. So
Yeah, that was demonstrated in one of our previous
that's right. Yeah, I had them on my
episodes.
desk here
Yeah.
just a couple of days ago. Um, let's see.
David
And
Simard asked,
mhm.
but to replace the battery pack, is there an adapter for the mount? There's adapter comes with the Exos 2 with PMC-8, and one comes with the Exos 100 too, doesn't it? Pretty sure it does. Been a
Do you
while since
ship
I've
do you
unboxed
ship
it.
the AC adapters with the Exos 100? I thought we were just doing
I
the
don't
battery
think we
case.
did. There
Yeah.
is one available.
Yeah.
And Dusty Haskins has a question. He says, not really a PMC-8 question, but wants to know if the N208 CF is the N208 CF the only imaging node you guys have. Yes and no. The Comet Hunter, which was a Maxitov Newtonian, there's still a few units available floating out there, I believe, but that also was an astrographic type of instrument. Very nice pinpoint stars all the way across and a flat field. So with the Maxitov corrector. And then he wants to know, or is the Bresser considered ES as far as warranty, et cetera? The Bresser unit does not have the same warranty program that the Explore Scientific products have. But Dusty, if you got a problem or something, let us know and we'll take care of you. So, you know. Tim Myers, I've always thought simply proving the altitude bolts with a rounded head would make them smoother when pushing against the casting. Tim, you are right. Smoothing them out, like making them curved on the ends would help. And that is something that we can request on our next production run of those mounts. Bergman Scooter says hello. Wolfgang says the price of the IXS 100 is similar to the Star Adventure, but you become more, or you get more for your money, and that's why I purchased the IXS 100. James the astrophotographer agrees. He says, as Wolfgang said, your dollar's going way further with the IXS 100. Thank you, James.
I think
not only can you
we're
use
pretty competitive.
Yeah, not only can you use a camera, but you can take a look at the group pages and see what some folks are using on the IXS 100. I know, it's fun to look at that because we're always surprised how much they're putting on the IXS 100.
Right.
Terry Lehrman, what about the gears and motors and in that low temperature? You want to comment on that?
Yeah, there's definitely, you have to manage the grease, probably.
Yeah.
You have to, things will get stiff. A lot of things that you don't think about that get really stiff are the cables and wiring.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
cables get really
The
stiff
hard as
in
a
the cold.
rock. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something when you're slewing around, you know, even with the gears, the gears would separate because they shrink, right? Things get smaller when it gets cold. So you'll have, if you have it adjusted very nicely at room temperature, if you go out to minus 30 degrees or minus 20 degrees, the mesh will change on your gear system. The pulley belt tightness may loosen up a little bit. You get all this stuff that goes on. It gets difficult because if you try to tune it for these temperatures, then it really gets to be a pain to go back and forth. But if you got a long winter time and you know you're gonna be in this environment, you know, 0 degrees, let's say you just average at 0 degrees, then you can tune your mount or adjust it for that temperature while it's outside. Let it sit out for 3 or 4 hours, then adjust it, and then you'll be good for the winter time, I think.
And just leave it in your deep freeze.
Yeah, exactly. Leave it outside in your garage or wherever to keep it. It's always best to leave systems like this in the ambient conditions because then it is easy to use and start up whenever you want it. You don't have to wait it to acclimate. Especially
true.
optical tubes too. Optical tubes are that way.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. A lot of the observatories, they have climate control to balance what it was the night before. So, you know. So
Chuck Stahl has a question. Any solution for holding the PMC-8 unit, the silver box, on the Exos 2? Yes, it was. If you look on one of the legs, I think it's either the southeast or the southwest leg, there's 2 holes. That little silver piece that the Velcro goes through will screw into those 2 little holes. And you can screw it in and make it a permanent part of the mount right there if you don't want to use the Velcro piece.
That's a T-slot adapter, I guess
Yeah,
we could call it.
T-slot adapter. We'll screw onto one of the legs. There's 2 pre-drilled holes for that purpose. T-slot adapter. I like that, Jerry.
James the astrophotographer says, the girlfriend took me to Cherry Springs beginning of May. And we had crap weather and a full moon. Well, Cherry Springs is known for its dark sky, so you need to go out for another date out there. Let's see. You guys are funny. Did we answer this question? I'm having problems balancing my telescope and my camera in right ascension. It seems to be because of the electronics on one side. on one side, does it make a difference with tracking? That's Michael Whitaker.
The electronics on one side. So he's talking about balancing the RA axis or the deck axis. What did
He's
you
talking
say?
about RA.
RA axis.
I'm having problems balancing my telescope and camera on the right ascension axis. It seems to be because of the electrics on one side.
He means deck. He means deck. The RA is fixed. The RA motor is a fixed position.
Oh,
The
on the
deck
Exos
motor
2,
turns.
it's off to the side. The
Yeah.
motor's off to the side instead of like the IXOS 100 where it's on the front on the north side. So yeah, so it could be an issue, but the deck balance, typically you want it to be tail heavy, like we talked about before for astrophotography anyway. You want it to, and just because you have the electronics on one side, that's not going to amount to a whole lot of weight or bias, I don't believe. Now, maybe that bias on the left on the deck axis causes the RA. I don't know why the RA would float off that side, but it could. I guess it could, but again, you got the counterweight that you can adjust to compensate for that weight anyway. So
The RA motor doesn't turn. Only the deck.
no,
motor
I'm
turns.
talking about the deck motor position being off to the side.
Right.
So let's say you have nothing on the mount and you release the clutch completely on the RA axis. Because the motor is on the side, it will tend to pull it down and rotate the RA axis on that side.
Okay. Okay.
I think that's what he's talking about. But that's such a small amount. I wouldn't really worry about it too much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it at all.
In fact, it may be an advantage because it's kind of preloading
Right.
the gear.
Yeah, it does preload the gear towards that side.
Yeah. Some people have asked for the link for the button, so I'm going to put that out there right now. There you go.
Terry Lehrman asked, would you recommend using a different grease in cold weather? I don't think I'm going to venture to say maybe degrease it because brass pieces tend to be self-lubricating. And
I don't know. You know, the thing is, there was a group one time, we were involved with a group, not with Explore Scientific, but with Mead Instruments, and they took one of the LX200s down to Antarctica. It gets down to like minus 100 down there. And they had to put special grease on that telescope, very expensive stuff that would still,
Would still stay liquid a little bit. When it
yeah,
gets that cold,
yeah,
instead of
down in those
rocking
kind of
up like a
temperatures.
rock.
And I'll bet at minus 40, can't be a
gonna-
lot different than minus 100.
No, I think
Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, the
those
grease
kind of
tends to rock
temperatures are
up hard.
so cold.
Yeah, it would rock up hard maybe
Yeah,
and flake off and break off and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Maybe.
yeah.
it'd be more of a case of degrease than anything else. And anything else, it'd be like a car, whatever grease you would use on a car up there, but maybe we need to study that a little bit.
Yeah. But there's greases for going to super cold. It's just that most of us don't use them. Certainly where the telescopes are manufactured, we're not building in those kind of temperatures. So
Scott, we don't call one of the deep freeze, because they have a large chicken industry here. They have some 30 below freezers here. We might see if we could go put them out in one and leave it overnight and just see what happens. That'd be a fun little experiment.
It's not just the
put an
mount.
astronomer in there with it.
Yeah,
We could do that. Why not? I'll go there with a parka. I've got gear.
The
And I'll-
parka, okay.
And I'll hook up and we ought to do a live broadcast there from there and just to see if it'll work.
there's another
We're going to
system.
get live.
There's another system that's in the on the telescope. It's the focuser that you have to deal with too at that cold temperature. The focuser.
You have to deal with everything at that cold temperature, Your coffee's going to turn into a block of ice out there. Your cables are going to be
Stiff.
super stiff.
Yeah.
They're going to be pulling on your mount.
Well, that's the thing. Once they get stiffen up, they could drag your mount. They could not move like you expected.
I have been in not even that cold of weather and have that happen. So, like in minus, 0 temperature, that's they start to become very stiff at that point. Now, it may be that you can, one of my friends, Jack Newton, who, astrophotographer Jack Newton, he recommended that you buy a heating pad and tear the cloth bag around it, just pull it off. And he says, what's in there is a ribbon of a rubber ribbon with a heating element in it. And he said, then you can take that heating element and wrap it around all kinds of things, How much does a heating pad cost? $10, $15, So, but these things operate off of 110. So you'd have to run it into, if you got 12 volt out there, you would have to be running it with an inverter.
And some of these things don't need, that would probably have a temperature controller on it, but and you'd have that, but it takes a lot of power. It's hard to run a system like that off a battery. If you really get that down in temperature, 40 degrees below, you're gonna, if you want to keep your stuff somewhat ambient or somewhat reasonable, like at least above freezing. That's what I would recommend. Just as long as you keep it above freezing, you'd probably be all right for most anything. And batteries, if you have a heating blanket for a battery, that would be good.
Right.
So Steve Steedentop says, the electronics for other devices may have issues at that temperature. LCD screens and such will have issues at 40 below if they function at all.
Yeah.
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 I've seen, like I said, I operated my laptop all night long at minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit, but that's not like minus 40.
Yeah, I don't know of very many astronomers that go on that kind of temperature. I do know, I have heard that Canadian astronomers do go out when it's extremely cold, though.
Clear skies, brutally clear skies.
Really clear skies. They'll be out when it's certainly, below 0 Fahrenheit. That's not a problem.
That's short.
Somebody mentioned here in this feed that at 10 degrees Fahrenheit, they're out there with t-shirt and shorts on. So
shorts. That's almost motorcycle, almost motorcycle riding weather.
Yeah, that's right. So anyhow, what else were we going to discuss? We were going to talk about
some automation, I think.
Yeah, automation with there's several programs out there that do scripting. I think that what are you guys doing as far as scripting out at the MSRO?
So we've started this year on we're a hands-on teaching observatory where we want people to learn how to use the observatory manually. And but there's a little bit of automation that comes with out of the box, which is the let me share my maybe I can get on the MSR and show you some of this stuff. I'm going to share my desktop and I'm going to check to see if Shannon's on there or not. I'll let's log in real quick. But in terms of the automation, there's already a imaging sequence that you can set up automatically, and so once you've got your system on target, hands-on, and you get it going, you can start an image sequence and go several hours with this sequence. Shannon's been working on some automation to do some automatic peer flips and get back onto the target, which Sequence Generator Pro does, I believe, and there's other Nina and other programs that do that for you also. So the automation is available for free to download, not just in MaximDL, which is what we're working with. The other side of MaximDL is the scripting language also is available to allow us to, let me get logged on here, to allow us to do our calibration frames. Can you see the desktop there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's cold. Theme based.
Cold. That's right. Yeah. So you can see Shannon was on there previously. So let me get logged on here. Um, and so that's available. Scripting languages are available, and she's creating a script. She's actually done it already. There's a couple. One is to thermally to manage our system cooldown on the cameras to help extend the life of the thermoelectric cooling system. QHY cameras have a limit on how fast you want to cool your cameras down because of the thermoelectric cooler, and she wrote a script to do that automatically, which is cool. Let's see. Let me bring Maxim up here. Let me get this out of the way. So Maxim has a script language. And so Shannon's been working on scripting to, like I said, do this calibration frame script to do all the calibration data. And I was going to show you something specifically here. Do you remember what it was, Scott? And my brain is all of a sudden gone there. Gosh, I'm trying to say too much stuff at once, you know.
Yes, brain fog is the first signs
I know it's the first sign
of brain fog is what they are. Yeah. Well, I can't really remember what the first signs of. No, we were just going to talk about automation and scripting.
What we've been doing at the MSRO.
Yeah, so. What you've been doing at the MSRO. That's right. Because you've been scripting it, right?
Scripting, right? Exactly.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know if that's easy to read or not. Probably not. So this is, I don't know if there's a way to.
Well, if you like the word scripting and scripts.
Yeah, let me. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this up and copy it and put it on a notebook.
Oh, so that script, that little piece right there is the whole script.
Yeah, this is a type. Let me show you. I'm going to zoom it up so we can look at it and examine what it is.
It looks simple.
It is. It is. It's not too bad. If you're into, I'm going to enlarge the font.
Yeah, as long as you know the commands. I mean.
Right, and there's it's. I don't know if people know what object oriented means. Basically, it creates an object for each device.
Okay.
And so example, when you declare the cam object, okay, the camera object, you create it. This is the syntax, but basically you're creating a camera object that you can manipulate in the script. And then you're connecting to it. That's all there is to it.
Cam.link enabled equals true. That looks pretty straightforward.
It's a command. You set that set that value to true, and it's linked. It's connected now. And then there's some error recovery here.
Yeah, if not cam link enabled, then there's a little script to quit. Okay.
Yeah. And then otherwise it comes up and says camera's ready. And then you have this command expose.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now what's the one?
Now we have to look at this. Yeah, we have to look at this. This is called the API.
Okay.
This is the camera API. There's a method called expose that takes arguments.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of API is basically a collection of methods and properties, okay, that you use to it's just like a car. Okay, the car API includes a steering wheel, a brake pedal, an acceleration pedal, perhaps a gear shift lever that you can set a value into. So that's the API for an automobile.
Yeah.
Think of the same thing for a camera. What controls do you have on a camera? And that's what the API is built to. So this is a simple script. Let's see if there's another one here that we can look at. Okay, here's another one.
Tim Myers asked, I think he's asking, is there a Meridian flip script?
There is there's a command you can do, I'm sure, in Maxim. In fact, that's what Shannon's been using to automate the pure flip when we're doing a sequence of images. And I don't exactly know what it is right this minute, but there's definitely a way to do it, to manage that. So here's another one. All right, so this gives you a little more information about that camera expose method. It's got the first number is 60. That's a 60-second exposure. 1 is the shutter is open, opens the shutter, and then 0 is the filter number. That's the controls that you have on the camera object. Let's see what else we got here. Nope. There's another scripting. One script. But there might be some other examples. There's other examples out there on the Maxim website that that Shannon has got a hold of on how to do stuff. But so in other programs like Sequence Generator Pro and maybe Nina, they have a scripting language also. But typically, one thing you're looking for in scripting is that whatever program you're using will expose devices and will call them something the way they want to call them. So the API in Nina to do the same thing may be different than what we have here in Maxim. The object names will be different, but you'll still find the same type of thing. You'll have these methods that control the camera.
So where do you find that information at?
That will be on the help files with the programs that have the scripting language involved with it. In fact, let me I can actually go out, and if you do a Google search, I'm sure I can find this on the fly. This is a test. Okay. That's our night sky for tonight. It's gonna be cloudy. This has been our weather pattern for a long time.
All you got to do is take like a magic marker and make those little
Oh yeah,
white dots blue or
color
black.
and blue. That's right, color and
Just put 'em-
blue
make
and
them
black.
black.
That's
Make them
right.
clickable, so you just click on them and turn them.
That's right. Yeah, maybe you could write a script for that, for some deep,
Oh yeah.
dark skies, clear skies, perfect seeing conditions.
Let's see what this does. Sequence Generator Pro scripting language. Running script issue, Sequence Generator Pro.
Yeah, it would be cool if there was like another program that could spit out a script for you.
Now, so what you're talking about is a modeling tool that would generate script language based
Yeah,
on your settings. So that would really be a cool program to
it
be able
would.
to set up your stuff. Now, Sequence Generator Pro probably does that internally. When you set up a sequence, it's going to create an internal script. Now, I don't know if they expose that script or not. Let's see what this says here. All right, so running scripting. So this is like a Sequence Generator Pro script. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom up on it.
I mean, still, it's not that hard once you wrap your head around it, but you know.
Right, so they're defining a scope. The scope object is and this is the ASCOM driver right here.
Okay.
That's the name of the ASCOM driver. So you create the scope, and then you call the connected function, which is that's actually the ASCOM API call.
I see. Probably all of these are, right?
It's also got, well, some of it. This is tracking is an API, is an ASCOM API method or property. Salute to Altaz is a property, as a method that's in. So this is an ASCOM. This is actually an ASCOM. They're using ASCOM directly to set this stuff. I don't know what else is in here, but that's just an example of a script on Sequence Generator Pro. So apparently Sequence Generator Pro uses the ASCOM object API, ASCOM objects directly, which is great because that means you only have one set of objects to understand and learn. Let's see what else. I don't know if we have anything else here that talks about it. I guess what I wanted to show is that all these new programs have scripting languages available to further automate your observing. And it's good to just take advantage and take a look. Start out small, like that one script with the camera. Just start out really tiny, and then just build on it and add
Right.
in for your mount, add in stuff for your camera, add in stuff for your filter, and just build on it and make it work like you want. And you'll get to the point where you've got a fully running system that you can start up at night.
Oh,
The other
yeah.
thing, so you'll be able to slew to objects. It'll plate solve. That's what Shannon's been working on, to be able to slew to a sequence of objects, do a plate solve, center it, and then start the imaging run, and then go to the next object, and then go to the next object now. And I know Sequence Generator Pro and Nina probably does this, and it's got that nice interface to let you do it without getting into the scripting language. But if you want to do something that's custom, that's outside the realm of those simple interfaces, then you need to go ahead and get into the scripting language.
Right. But that once you've learned it, it can save you a ton of
Oh yeah.
work.
Oh yeah.
I know guys that set up the scripting and set up their scopes and everything, and then they go to sleep.
Oh
They
yeah.
go to
They can
sleep and
trust their
then
system.
wake up in the morning to data. So
Yeah, they trust their systems. That's one thing. You gotta get hands on and understand and monitor it over a few nights to make sure it's
yeah,
not going to do anything goofy. But once you
right.
get trust in it, once you trust your system, then it will work. Looks like I'm getting a little dark here. I need to brighten my video. It's the clouds are
Yeah,
coming
what's
up.
happening over there?
It's getting cloudy.
Uh,
So let me go ahead and sign off here.
I was looking at. I wanted to thank everybody that watches our shows. I was looking at some of the video views we've had on some of the shows, and some of them, it's funny because some of them have just a couple of hundred, 300 views, but some of them have, upward over 2,000 views. So it's nice
Oh,
to
nice.
know that people are getting good use out of these videos, and we really appreciate you guys watching and commenting. It makes it really enjoyable from our side. Now, if I could just properly title a show, that would be good. That would be
Yeah,
good.
that would be nice.
That'd be nice. Yes. Right. So sometimes I have troubles on Mondays. I don't know what it is.
It's just
So
those Mondays. Mondays are
yeah,
Mondays.
Monday blues or whatever it is. Although I'm not blue.
Mm-mm.
So, well, gentlemen, do we have any other comments? Anything else that we wanted to bring up for this show today?
Hey, Jerry.
Yeah.
Jenny Shelley just logged on. I just made a comment that Nina is
Okay.
awesome. Why don't you call up that picture she posted a while ago
Where's it at? I'm not.
on the main forum?
I'm trying to get my thing adjusted here. All right.
It's where was it?
Where did
Cygnus
my
Loop.
Zoom go? Cygnus Loop
Cygnus Loop.
on the main forum.
Yes, sir.
Is it under the astrophotography?
No, sir. It's its own thread. Cygnus Loop.
Okay, Cygnus Loop. All right, let me find it.
And I have a question. We were talking about your 500th, your estimate on the 500th view membership. I was kind of curious, if you feel like you're on track to get
Oh
500
yeah.
members.
Yep.
You said
Yep.
what, August 3rd, I think is what it was?
I think August 3rd will be right at or a little over 500. I think it's right now, the way I projected it is supposed to go on the weekend 500, but our next show is on Monday, so I figured by Monday it should be 500.
So we should call some bookies in Las Vegas and see what what the odds are.
Right, right. That's right. Let me I'm gonna zoom up a little bit on this image. I got the image up. Let me share my desktop again.
And Jennifer just posted on Facebook, everyone beware, it's not that good. Well,
it's-
you know
Oh,
what?
come on.
Come on, that's right. It's good.
It's got to be better than the iPhone image that I did of Comet Neowise. So
Yeah.
that's
Can
good.
you can you see that now?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Let me I'm gonna try to make it a little bit bigger here. This thinking scroll bar. Is that, can you see it now, the full thing, or almost the?
It's pretty
Pretty
big.
much. Yeah, pretty
Right
much.
there.
There, stop
Okay.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, focus is really good, and the
Yeah, it's got
stars are really
a lot of
tight.
stars, a lot of stars.
Yeah, yeah. You got the whole loop there. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
So probably the only improvement could be maybe more enhanced image processing, something like that. So
So
but,
details.
you got
Details.
beautiful color range there, and
So this is the details on this stuff.
There you go.
okay. So what do we got? It's on a G11. All right.
Just under very dark,
G7. Nice.
extremely dark Bordeaux Class 7 skies.
Mm-hmm.
Bordeaux 7's badly light fleeted.
Vader UFC and 2-inch L enhance.
Mm-hmm.
QHY 128C camera.
Uh-huh.
And it's on a Explorer First Light 127 SCD100 and the
Mm-hmm.
G11 with PMC-8.
That's a great system. You can do almost anything with that setup.
Right. Well, I think that that's a nice image.
And what I always like to see is how everybody expresses their processing. Other people could take this data and would get something completely different. And I think that's part of the fascinating. And there's always the debate of, are my reds saturated enough? Is the blue or the green up enough? Does it, and it's art.
That's right.
There's art to this. And I like to see how different people shoot the same things and come up with completely different expressions.
Yeah.
Of
What's really interesting,
thing.
if you look at the arc in between the two main elements of the arc, if you look at the it looks like dark lines running vertical all through the image, not from an artifact of the chip, but from
right here, like right through here.
well, that one's kind of curly Q. Go closer to the right where you see them, right at the end of the word Cygnus loop. Okay, and you can see that these veins go from the top to the bottom, and they look like ripples or waves.
Like this one right here.
Yeah, like that one. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of nebulosity there. Probably if you kept shooting, kept exposing, you'd probably blow out the two sides of the Cygnus loop and then have what look like they're completely almost unrecognizable nebulosity right smack dab in the middle. So
Right. This is a pretty wide field of view.
yeah.
Did
Great.
it say what it was? I don't remember. No, that's cool.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for your afternoon again. Thank all of our audience for watching. If you're watching it in rerun, thank you for watching it in rerun. Today's program, we've been bouncing back and forth, as you might have noticed, between broadcasting with Skype and broadcasting with Zoom. Today was on Zoom. It has a little bit different feel to it. Some people like the show better on Zoom because they think that the video is a bit crisper. So If you have any comments on that, let us know. But I think we're going to broadcast mostly on Zoom from here on out. And if you have any questions or any suggestions for the show, let us know. You can send in an email to service@explorerscientific.com. You guys keep looking up.
Hey, Terry, send me an email so I can give you a call. Send me your number, Terry Larriman.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, we'll see you all tomorrow. And
We didn't do our giveaway.
Oh,
do you want to do the giveaway? We said
gotta
we were
be
going
fast.
to, right?
It's got to be fast.
All right.
So, let's see. Let's just come up with a question that we all know.
I've got one. I've got one. Comet Neowise, everybody's excited about it. So everybody get ready. Here's the question. What date does it make its closest approach to Earth?
That's a good question.
It's easy. Somebody should come up with it pretty easily.
I need like some on-hold music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jeopardy music.
Dun, 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 dun.
Here's a bit of trivia. I used to set up the telescopes for the game show Wheel of Fortune. They used to give away telescopes.
Oh,
on
really?
the show. Yeah.
Okay, I've got to be clear here. The closest pass in the United States.
In the United States?
Yeah, because
Is it going to be different for Mexico?
and no, it's going to be different from Europe. So I think we have to go with.
Okay.
So I think we've got to probably sit here thinking about it.
Well, the date you had in mind was for North America, right? So
Right, for North America.
that's the answer that we're looking for.
That's correct. That's the answer we're looking for North America.
How about South America?
I don't think you can see it.
That's true.
Pinch poke. Give me a Coke. Jinx.
How about Central America?
Yeah, I think you can see it from Central America.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got an answer.
We got an answer?
Yeah, start reading down those answers. I've seen the right
All
answer.
right,
I'm
hold
not sure
on.
who came first.
Hold on. I get to see all the answers here.
Yeah, you've got all the strings.
I got all the, that's true. Mhm. All right, so the first answer I see is from Dave Connolly. It says the 23rd.
Nope.
Next one is Chalks. He says July 24th.
Nope.
Wolfgang says the 23rd.
Nope. It is for them. It is for them the 23rd. It's the 22nd for us.
And Ansel Puri says July 22nd.
There we go. So it was a great question with a flawed answer. Sorry, everybody.
Winner.
Okay. All right. So because of that, okay, we're going to give the first answer, the 23rd,
Okay.
to Dave Connolly, and the first answer and the prize to Ansel Puri for July 22nd. How's that?
Sounds like a
Two
plan.
winners. That's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What
So
do
how
we
do they
have for him?
redeem
What do we
their-
have for him, Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny, what's behind door number 2?
We have
think
a
we're
nice set of buttons.
Nice set of buttons.
That's right. All right.
So buttons.
We're not going to like split up the 4 buttons so that one guy gets 2 and the other guy gets 2, right?
You're
Yeah.
not that cheap, Scott. No, we're not going to do that. All right. Hey, send me email to service@explorescientific.com. Give me and put attention Kent prize winner in the subject line. I need your shipping address and your phone number, and name, obviously. I've got it written down. And I'll get you some buttons.
Oh, I did also want to point out, hey, Jerry, since you're sharing screens back there, can you go on to the Explore Scientific
Sure.
Facebook page
Okay.
and share on the cover image is Amy, the artist Amy, forget her last name right now. That's terrible. But she had dressed up for the, she created an artistic impression onto one of our telescopes.
Oh,
This is
okay, yeah.
the AR-127. Yeah, if you go, there she is, right there. Yeah,
Cool.
Amy Davis Roth. Yeah, and so she does space art and rocket art and these incredible black flames. So, but this was the door prize for the Cosmoclusticon, and a guy in Australia won it. So we're now trying to figure out how to get it from her down to Australia. But this is a cool thing, and we want to thank Amy Roth for doing this. So it's very interesting. She does all kinds of other stuff. She does jewelry, coffee cups, all kinds of stuff. This is her first telescope to work on. So,
And it doesn't void the warranty.
no, it doesn't void the warranty.
That would be pretty bad.
Yeah, but trading it in towards our trade-in trade-up program might be a little tough.
Somewhat problematic.
Yeah. But she has agreed to do a limited edition of this artwork for people who might be interested in it. And she does it a couple of different ways. She can send these custom, they're adhesive labels that you can put onto the telescope. She designs them. And that costs like $40, something like that. Or she will apply it. You have to send the scope to her. She'll apply it and sign the scope for $100. So it's a kind of original artwork kind of thing.
I'd
But,
love to see one of our carbon fiber scopes dressed up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe
That'd be
we'll make
pretty
that
neat.
happen with her. She needs white stickers for that, I think. So
Well,
I know
I'd
I've
like to
seen
see
people.
red.
Yeah, red
what's
would
that?
look good. Red would look good on that.
Red would look good on that. That's true. Some people, we were showing this photo to someone else though, and they were saying, no, I don't want anything on my scope. I like the classic look. I just like the way that looks. So,
Mhm.
but certainly this is a lot of fun. And
Oh yeah.
so you can go see Amy's work at surlyramics.com, so.
Yeah, the link is on the right
Mhm.
there.
So it's very cool. And I will also say on this Friday, Abigail Bolenbach will be spending time with us. She's going to do a show at, I think it's 11 o'clock in the morning Central Time with us. She's going to spend half an hour talking about her new show that she's doing for Astronomy Magazine. So she's now got a couple of programs under her belt, and she wants to discuss the content of the show and what that's all about. So we're excited to have her back on the air again. You guys have a great night. Congratulations to the winners, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Bye-bye.